Hello, welcome to our channel. In this video, we will show you how to solve quadratic equations by factoring. In this video, we will just look at those equations that can be factored or are already factored. If an equation cannot be factored, we need to use some other methods, which we will do in our next videos. So here is the basic method for solving quadratic equations by factoring. If you are given a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then we want to write it in the form some expression times some other expression equal to 0. So basically, we want to factor this part and write like that, an expression times another expression equal to 0. And then we want to set each of the factors equal to 0. Then these factors will be linear functions, which we can easily solve. So let's look at examples of what we mean by that. All right, so in this case, we are already given in the factored form. So basically, all we need to do is set each of these two factors equal to 0. So 5x plus 3 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. Because for a product of two numbers equal to 0, we need to have at least one of them to be equal to 0. So we can say 5x plus 3 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. And then these two are nice linear equations we can easily solve. So for the first one, you can just subtract 3 from both sides. Then that will give you 5x on this side equal to negative 3. And then you can divide both sides by 5. So that will give you x equals negative 3 by 5. So this is the solution to the first part. For the second part, we can add 1 to both sides. And that will give us x minus 1 plus 1 is just x on this side equal to 1 on this side. So we have these two solutions. So this is one solution and this is another solution. Let's look at the next example now. Here we are given x squared minus 3x equals 18. So this is not in factored form. We have to factor this now. But before that, we write this in the standard form, meaning we write everything on the left side. We have x squared minus 3x. So subtract 18 from both sides. You get x squared minus 3x minus 18 equal to 0. So this is the standard form. Now we want to factor this. Now there are various methods to factor a trinomial like this one. So here, let's just use the reverse FOIL method. There are other methods like box method, and you can find links to different methods of factoring in the description below. So using reverse FOIL method, we just want to write this as two factors like this one. So since we have x squared, we need x over here, and we need x over here so that the product becomes x squared. Now, the constants over here and over here should make negative 18. So we look at different ways that can make negative 18. So let's look at some possibilities. Well, one of them is 18 times negative 1. So that would be negative 18. But we need the sum to be negative 3. So this one doesn't work because 18 minus 1 is 17. But we need negative 3 to be the sum. So that doesn't work. The other one is negative 18 times 1. That is also negative 18. Again, the sum is negative 17. So that doesn't work. The next one can be 9 times negative 2. But the sum is 7, which doesn't work. The next one can be negative 9 times 2. The sum is negative 7. So that also doesn't work. Next one can be 6 times negative 3. Sum is 3. So that doesn't work. We need the sum to be negative 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. So that doesn't work. The next one is negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Here the sum is negative 3. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. So this one works. So we can put negative 6 over here and plus 3 over here. So we have the two products. Now, if you make sure you did this correctly, you did this factoring correctly, you can multiply these, FOIL these back and see if you get x squared minus 3x minus 18. So once we have these two factors, all we need to do is now set both of these equal to 0. So x minus 6 equal to 0 or x plus 3 equal to 0. Add 6 to both sides. Over here, you get x equals 6 and add or subtract 3 from both sides here. You get x equals negative 3. So we have these two solutions, 6 and negative 3. So those are the possible values of x that satisfy this equation. So we are done with this example. Let's look at the next one now. Here we have 2x squared minus 5x equals 3. Again, the first step is to write it in the standard form, meaning have everything on left side. 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equal to 0. So once you have this, we need to factor this trinomial like this. We'll factor 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 and put them here. The two factors will go here. And then next we'll set each of the factors equal to 0. So now the question is how we can factor this trinomial. Again, we can use different methods. Again, you will see links to different methods of factoring in the description below. So for this one here, let's use the box method. So we will put these terms in a box like this one. Basically, we start by putting the first term here, 2x squared, and the last term, negative 3 over here. Now, over here, we need to split the product of these two into two parts. So for that, we look at the product of the coefficients. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So you want to split negative 6 into two parts so that the sum is negative 5. So we can split negative 6 as negative 6 times 1. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. In this case, negative 6 plus 1 is 5. Well, negative 5. So this will work. So we have negative 6x over here and x over here. Or you could put negative 6x here and x over here. So once we have this, the next step is to pick any row or column and take out a common factor. So for example, if we pick this last one, x and negative 3, there is really nothing common between those two. So I can take 1 out. So the highest common divider between these two is 1. So we put 1 over here. Now again, instead of looking this particular row, we could look at that row or this column or that column. Using any of those column or row will work. So once you have that 1, now we need something over here that makes x when you multiply with 1. So basically 1 times that over here should give you x. So 1 times x gives us x. So we need x over here. And the same thing here. So 1 times what will give us negative 3. Of course, 1 times negative 3 will give us negative 3. So we put negative 3 over here. Now we move to the first row. So we already have x here. So we need something over here. So that when you multiply that times x, you get 2x squared. So x is already there. So we need one more x to get x squared. And we need 2 over here because we have 2x squared. So we need 2x over here. And the last one should work out itself. So we have 2x times negative 3, which is negative 6x, which is already here. So we have these two factors now. So this is one factor, and this is another factor. So we have been able to factor this trinomial completely. We have 2x plus 1 here and x minus 3 over here. Now the rest is just setting each of these two factors equal to 0. So 2x plus 1 equal to 0, or x minus 3 equal to 0. Subtract 1 from both sides over here, you get 2x equals minus 1, and then divide both sides by 2, you get x equals -1/2. So this is one solution. And over here, we just need to add 3 to both sides to get x equals 3. So this is another solution. So we are done with this example. And this is the next example we have. We want to solve 12x squared plus 6x equal to 0. So again, we want to try to factor this. Factoring this one is quite easy actually. We can just take out 6x because 6x is common in both of these. This one contains 6x because 6 times 2 is 12 and x times x is x squared. So you are left with 2x over here. And this one contains 6x. So you are left with 1 over here when you take 6x out. Set that equal to 0. Now we need to set each of these two factors equal to 0. So 6x equal to 0 and 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Over here, divide both sides by 6. So we get x equals 0 over 6, which is 0. Divide 0 by any number, we get 0. And over here, you can subtract 1 from both sides. That will give us 2x equals -1. And then divide both sides by 2, we get x equals -1/2. So these are the solutions, 0 and -1/2. This is the next example we have here. So 4x squared minus 81 equal to 0. Now if we look at this equation here, it follows one of those special formats because we can write this as something is squared minus something is squared. We can put 2x here because 2x, everything is squared is 4x squared. And we can put 9 here because 9 squared is 81. Now, if you recall that if you have this form a squared minus b squared, then we have the factors a plus b times a minus b. So in our case, a is 2x and b is 9. So we have the factors 2x plus 9 because we have a plus b times 2x minus 9, we have a minus b. So that means from here we can say 2x plus 9 equal to 0 or 2x minus 9 equal to 0. So we have two nice linear equations. Subtract 9 from both sides. In the first one, you get 2x equals -9. Then divide both sides by 2, you get x equals -9/2. And over here, add 9 to both sides, you get 2x equal to 9. And then divide both sides by 2, you get x equals 9/2. So we have these two solutions, -9/2 and 9/2. So these are just a few examples of how we can solve quadratic equations by factoring. And thank you for watching.